We'd get our hair and makeup done filming. And when we'd be done, I was like, what is the hottest restaurant in Hollywood? Where can I go? Where can I be seen? Who's there? What are they doing? Oh my God, is my car washed?
Machine.
Yeah, and now I'd say it started with Kanye because he lived a more, his work life is very public. But then like when he was off, he was very private. And everything had to be public for me back then. And so I had to kind of flip it, and now it's like on my time off, I'm like, where are the locations that I could go eat, go on vacation where no one will see us, where it's just all I want is privacy. And I never thought I'd ever be to that point.
One can't say that there's a shortage of talk shows. There's a lot of talk shows, and when you want to do a talk show, what is it? And we thought about Cavett and Tom Snyder's Tomorrow Show and shows where people spent more time. And maybe you give people the choice. I think in conversation, it's almost always a better conversation when the person you're talking to, what they reveal is a choice. I wanted to do a show that way, where we sat down and it wasn't me memorizing a list of questions prepared by somebody else in an Uber on the way or in a taxi on my way to the studio or to the podcast for that matter. We wanted to do a show where the group of us producing the show and preparing the show really, really gave it a lot of thought. We watched a lot of clips. We sit down and we really break the person down as a subject pretty thoroughly. The goal is to make them feel comfortable enough to get into the long format where you really let it breathe and it's less canned. Because sometimes I think the segments people are asked to do are very heavily produced to get everything out of it promotionally that they want to get out and then move off. And we want to try to just let it breathe a little bit more. I didn't see any of that coming.
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. You feel the same way?
I absolutely. I found out when I was maybe 25. I had walked in on Caitlyn. My mom was out of town, and I walked in on Caitlyn, all dressed up. It was Bruce, but dressed up as a woman in the garage at my mom's house. And I ran in, packed a bag so fast, shaking, and ran out and called Courtney and said, I have to come spend the weekend with you. And I was hysterically crying. And she just was like, what is it? Did you catch Bruce cheating? And I was like, I wish. I don't know what I just saw. I don't know what,
I wish. That's funny.
I ran out, didn't come home for the weekend.
And when you next had the opportunity to discuss it with him/her or your mother, if you don't mind my asking, what was the dialogue about that?
Well, it was Bruce at the time, so he had called me and said, one day I'll sit down and I'll explain this all to you.